Alright? What I'm discovering, what I've found out quite a few times actually, is that there's a point when you're having a discussion or an argument or a debate with someone who's got right-wing views. There's a point where you start to win, and at that same point, coincidentally, they start to get aggressive. Now, at that point, it's a crucial point. If you back off because they're aggressive, then you'll never change them. They will sink back into their delusion, if you like, their right-wing outlook. But if you can cross that point somehow, I don't mean fucking getting into a physical fight with them, because that's pointless. I mean, if you can, I don't know, bridge that point somehow by appeasing them in some way, you know, giving them enough space to so that the aggression simmers slightly, so you know what I mean, it diminishes slightly, and then you can go on the offensive again. If you can get past that point of aggression, then you've got a chance of changing that person. I've just had two blokes in the taxi fucking arguing the toss, right? Now, I'm very confident in my ability to argue politics, so you get in a political argument with me, you've got to know some stuff. These lads, two of them, 2 against 1, were arguing the toss, being racist and all that about Asian taxi drivers and blah blah blah, boat people and all that. Anyway, it built up, and it was friendly at first because they thought they were going to win. But when it transpired that I was winning, when it crossed that line and it was clear that I was winning this argument, then they started getting aggressive. And at that point, I had to make a decision. Carry on pushing these lads in the same way and risk it escalating into a violent confrontation, and it probably would have. And there's 2 of them and only 1 of me, remember? Or back off slightly, just enough to let the argument kind of de-escalate a little bit, and then wait, bide me time, and crank it up again, so that I go past that point where the aggression kicked in. So obviously I chose the latter option, and it worked. My point was made, and they started to actually take that point on board, rather than the nasty aggression taking over and it becoming a pointless mess of violence. My point was actually taken on board, and we went on to have a very friendly chat, and they learned something, and I didn't get beat up. Everyone's a winner. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, almost every time when you're arguing with a right winger, there comes a point where they will get aggressive. Because inevitably, if you know your stuff, right, if you're politically educated, like I am, I'm not blowing me on trumpets, I've had 30 years of education, political education, so there's no point denying it. I know my stuff, right? I can argue with the best. I've argued with MPs, for fuck's sake. So, I can argue politics. But there comes a time when you're arguing with a right winger, usually it's pretty quick because they don't know much, and they get aggressive when you start winning the argument. Almost every time with a right winger, that's what happens. Because at the end of the day, the right wing depends on violence, it depends on aggression. It can't win through rational debate, because it's not a rational political ideology. It's not rational. There's nothing rational about Hitler. There's nothing rational about Thatcher. There's nothing rational about Farage. It's all based on lies. It's all based on bullshit. And it's all irrational. So right-wingers can't win debates. They rely on ignorance to win. And if you're not ignorant, then they rely on aggression. If they can't defeat you because you're not ignorant, they will have to defeat you with aggression. So that's what they resort to every time. And so you have to manage that somehow. You have to find a way of getting beyond the aggression if you want to change people. Some people you can't change. Some people are too far gone. You'll never change Elon Musk, for fuck's sake. You'll never change Nigel Farage. These are people who are very set in their ways. They lead people rather than being led. Do you know what I mean? And being leaders, their egos are so inflated that they'll never give up their views. Never. And they'll use those views to fool other people. And but the people that they lead, the led people, are not beyond saving, you know. They're not beyond change. You can change people, but as I say, there comes a point in every process where the right winger will get aggressive, and you have to find a way to get beyond that. And if you can't get beyond that, you'll not change them. But if you do get beyond that, you've got a chance of changing them, and they've got a chance at becoming a better person and a more progressive particle in society, in the molecular structure of society. So, there you go. I wish you all the best. The very best of luck in that endless conquest, that endless mission to change the right wingers and make them more progressive and left wing. Anyway, see you in the next one. Solidarity as always.